The council chamber stretched endlessly, a gleaming oval of glass and light floating high above the planet below. Representatives from 1,000 worlds sat in silence, their eyes sharp, their expressions rigid, as if even breathing too loudly could disturb the fragile peace they maintained across the galaxy. At the center of the spectacle, the human delegate stood alone, her small frame almost lost against the enormous hall, but her voice cut through the murmur of whispers like a blade. "Your judgments are flawed," she said. Her voice was calm, steady, carrying a weight the council had not expected. "You underestimate humanity. You believe our growth can be contained, that our ambition can be controlled, that we are insignificant." A ripple of shocked murmurs traveled around the chamber. Several representatives leaned forward, eyebrows raised, jaws tightening. The human woman did not flinch. She had anticipated this reaction. Humanity had always been underestimated, dismissed as primitive, chaotic, incapable of true power. But the truth she carried was undeniable, and she intended to deliver it. She opened a small device, projecting an image of a star map into the center of the chamber. A cluster of stars glowed brightly, newly explored systems, unclaimed worlds, resources untapped by any race but humanity. Her fingers danced over the interface, zooming, highlighting, and showing fleets of ships moving with astonishing speed, coordinating with precision the likes of which the council had never seen. "This is not speculation," she said, her eyes scanning the room, meeting every gaze. "This is reality. Humanity does not wait. Humanity does not hesitate. We do not plead for recognition. We act." A tall, pale representative with elongated fingers leaned forward, his voice cold. "You speak with confidence, but confidence is not proof. You are a single species, isolated on a backward planet. You have no allies. No technology that challenges the core. Nothing that threatens the council's order." The human delegate smiled faintly. "You will see," she said. She pressed another button. Suddenly, the star map exploded with activity. Ships, previously tiny dots, expanded in size, revealing their actual scale, enormous, sleek, deadly. They moved faster than any known propulsion, armed with weapons that could obliterate a world in minutes. The council members gasped, their faces paling. "This is only a fraction," she continued, her voice now firm, almost cold. "Humanity has developed technologies you cannot even imagine. We have rebuilt, expanded, and perfected in ways your oldest archives cannot contain. We are not coming to negotiate. We are coming to ensure survival, for all who choose to recognize it." An older counselor, with eyes like molten gold, slammed a fist on the table. "You threaten the peace of the galaxy with your arrogance. You cannot act unilaterally. You cannot assume the right to dominate. The council will not allow it." The human woman's expression did not change. Her calm presence was a storm beneath the surface. "The galaxy has already allowed it. For centuries, humanity was ignored. We were left to grow in silence. You dismissed our intelligence. You labeled our ambition as chaos. But chaos can become order. Weakness can become strength. And ignorance can become history." She pressed a final button. The map shifted to the edges of the galaxy, to systems previously considered empty, barren, or inhospitable. One by one, bright dots appeared, representing human colonies, advanced research stations, military outposts. "We are everywhere," she said softly, yet with authority that echoed through the chamber. "Not because we sought your permission, not because we followed your rules, but because we endure. We adapt. We rise." A ripple of fear spread among the council members. They had dismissed humanity for so long, convinced that the humans' growth was temporary, that their planet-bound conflicts would stunt their progress. Yet here was evidence that humanity had outpaced every prediction, surpassed every expectation, and prepared for a future that the council had no control over. The chamber fell into tense silence. The human delegate folded her hands, her eyes scanning the room, knowing every representative was now reconsidering their earlier dismissal. You may continue to ignore us, she said. You may continue to believe we are small, weak, and irrelevant. But time does not wait for perception. The rise of humanity is inevitable, and when it is complete, the galaxy will learn that it has underestimated the one species that should never have been ignored. For a moment, not a single sound was heard. The council members, who had spent lifetimes in power and authority, felt an unfamiliar weight press upon them, a realization that centuries of certainty had been built on false assumptions. A few shuffled papers, but the room remained heavy with disbelief. The human delegate stepped back, her mission complete for now. She had spoken the truth, and though the council would resist, though they would continue to argue and dismiss, the seeds of fear had been planted. Humanity's rise was no longer a distant possibility, it was a present threat. And the galaxy would soon see that the humans did not beg, did not negotiate, and did not surrender. Outside, above the clouds of her homeworld, a fleet of sleek ships waited silently, engines humming with quiet power. Each vessel was a promise, each weapon a warning. Humanity's time had come. The council had been warned. And when the first star system fell under human influence, there would be no retreat, no mercy, and no doubt. The council chamber had quieted, but the echoes of the human delegates' words lingered in every corner of the galaxy. No one could ignore them completely, though most tried. To the council, humanity was still a curiosity, a nuisance even, a species underestimated for centuries. They would soon regret that arrogance. Far from the chamber, on a hidden planet in the outer systems, humanity's fleet stirred like a waking giant. Massive ships, sleek and silver, hummed with power, engines glowing faintly in the darkness of space. Humans moved along the corridors with calm precision, their eyes sharp, their steps confident. Every soldier, every engineer, every pilot knew their part. They were not waiting for permission, they were preparing for the moment the galaxy could no longer ignore them. Captain Mara Vane stood on the bridge of the flagship Indomitable. Her hands rested lightly on the control console, yet her presence radiated authority. Outside the viewport, stars streaked as distant fleets shifted and aligned, hidden from prying eyes. Sensors pinged silently, reporting no signs of danger, yet Mara's instincts told her caution was still necessary. "We have confirmation," said Lieutenant Corrin, his voice steady but tense. "The outer systems are clear. All fleets in position. The launch protocols are ready." Mara nodded. "Good. Remember, we strike only when the time is right. No hesitation. Precision is our weapon. Speed is our ally." Around them, the bridge crew moved with fluid efficiency. Each operator monitored dozens of systems at once: navigation, weapons, communications, reconnaissance. Every calculation had been performed hundreds of times. Humanity had learned from mistakes, but they had also learned to prepare for what others considered impossible. Suddenly, the communications panel flickered. A voice, distorted and unfamiliar, came through. "This is the Central Council. Cease all preparations. Withdraw your fleet immediately. Humanity's actions are unauthorized. You are risking total destruction." Mara's eyes narrowed. "They still don't understand," she muttered. She pressed a button, opening a secure channel to the council. "I am not asking, I am informing. Humanity will act. You may choose to resist or comply, but we will not pause for your doubts." The council's voice trembled with a mix of fear and authority. "Do you comprehend the consequences? The entire galaxy could be destabilized." Mara cut him off. "Consequences are irrelevant to those who survive." She ended the transmission. The bridge fell silent for a heartbeat, heavy with anticipation. Then, she spoke again, her voice steady, almost cold. "Prepare for deployment. Activate the first wave." A low hum filled the ship as engines flared. One by one, vessels of the fleet slipped from hidden docks into the vacuum of space. They moved faster than anyone expected, cloaking fields masking their presence, sensors hidden from detection. The galaxy's rulers would not see them coming until it was too late. Meanwhile, on the edge of a nearby system, Council sensors finally picked up the human fleet. Panic rippled through their command centers. "Impossible," one officer whispered. "They should not be here. Their presence is beyond our calculations." Mara's voice echoed through the fleet's communication channels. Calm, commanding, confident. "Humanity moves as one. Every system you thought secure is now under observation. Every weapon you have cannot match our speed or resolve. You dismissed us once. That mistake ends today." Suddenly, a small scouting vessel detached from the main fleet, moving silently toward a heavily defended station on a resource-rich planet. Sensors on the Council's side flickered frantically, tracking the intruder. Their alarms screamed across the command bridge. "Intercept! Send fighters!" one officer shouted. But the scouting vessel was gone before any attack could be coordinated. A moment later, Council satellites reported the station's energy cores destabilizing. Explosions rippled across the surface, sending fragments into space. The message was clear: humans had arrived, and their reach was unstoppable. Back on Indomitable, Mara watched the reports with a calm expression. "This is only the beginning," she said. Her eyes scanned the star map, showing dozens of systems waiting to be influenced. "The galaxy believes it can control the future. They are wrong. They have always been wrong about us." In the Council chamber, alarms rang. Leaders argued, shouted, and tried to formulate a response, but coordination was impossible. Humanity's fleet was already moving faster than their reaction time. Systems that once felt safe were suddenly vulnerable. For centuries, the Council had ignored, mocked, and dismissed the humans. And now, they realized that the species they ridiculed was the very force that could shatter their power. Outside, among the stars, humanity's fleet glided like predators. Silent, precise, unstoppable. Each ship carried the promise of survival, each weapon the proof of preparation. The galaxy had not seen humanity's true strength yet. And when the first decisive strike fell, it would be clear that the rise of humanity was not just inevitable, it was unstoppable. The Council chambers were in chaos. Alarms blared, holographic maps flickered, and advisors shouted over one another. Every representative tried to make sense of what had just happened, but the truth was undeniable: humanity was already moving. Their fleet had struck without warning, hitting targets the Council had considered untouchable. The golden-eyed elder slammed his hand against the table. "This cannot be. They should not have reached that system. Our defenses, everything, has failed." "You underestimated them," a younger counselor admitted, voice shaking. "We believed they were weak. That they were backward. That they could not possibly have the technology to threaten us." The elder glared, but even he could not deny the truth. Across the galaxy, human ships were coordinating attacks faster than any intelligence network could track. Satellites, communication relays, even planetary defenses were being neutralized one by one. Humanity's reach was faster, sharper, and deadlier than anything the Council had faced. Meanwhile, in a hidden command center deep underground on Earth, Captain Mara Vane stood before a massive holographic display. It showed dozens of systems under human control, each marked with glowing lines tracing supply routes, fleets, and defense networks. Her crew worked in perfect synchrony, calculating trajectories, weapon ranges, and risk factors. Every detail had been planned for decades, refined in secrecy, executed flawlessly. Lieutenant Corrin, his fingers moving rapidly over the interface, looked up at Mara. "All systems responding. The Council cannot predict our next moves. Their fleets are scattered, confused. They are reacting, not leading." Mara nodded. "Good. Keep the pressure. Remember, we are not here to destroy unnecessarily. We are here to show strength, to make them understand that the galaxy cannot ignore humanity again." Suddenly, the display flickered. A new signal appeared, strange and irregular. The sensors on the fleet had detected something unusual, a massive energy spike coming from a previously unexplored star system. Mara frowned. "Identify it," she ordered. "Impossible to classify, Corrin replied. Energy signatures do not match anything in our records. It is enormous. Potentially catastrophic. Mara's eyes narrowed. Prepare reconnaissance teams. Move quietly. I want to know what it is before anyone else does. Within minutes, a squad of stealth vessels detached from the main fleet. Their cloaking systems activated, rendering them invisible even to the most sensitive Council scanners. As they approached the unknown system, the crew grew tense. The energy readings were off the charts, massive arcs of light dancing across the planet's surface, threatening to destabilize the local star. On the bridge of the reconnaissance leader, a young officer whispered, "Captain, this could wipe out an entire system if mishandled." Mara's calm voice replied over the comms, "That is exactly why we must understand it. Humanity never strikes blindly. We calculate. We adapt. And we survive." The stealth vessels drew closer, and suddenly, the source of the energy revealed itself. A colossal structure hovered above the planet's surface, larger than any human ship, yet unmistakably constructed with human design principles. Its surface shimmered with layers of armor and energy channels, glowing in a deadly rhythm. This was no ordinary weapon. This was a human superweapon, hidden for centuries, waiting for the moment the galaxy dismissed humanity entirely. Back on the Council's command bridge, panic spread like wildfire. Reports of the energy spike reached them, but by the time they understood its magnitude, it was already too late. Council fleets scrambled to intercept, but humanity's stealth ships moved faster than any response could be coordinated. Every attempt to target the vessels failed. Every strategy was anticipated and countered. Captain Mara watched the live feed from the stealth team. "Deploy the warning," she ordered. "Let the Council see what they ignored." A holographic pulse projected into the space above the nearest Council system, a display visible across all communication networks. The message was clear and simple. Humanity has arrived. Respect our power, or face its consequences. Across the galaxy, panic spread. Civilizations that had once laughed at Earth now scrambled for defensive measures. Fleets shifted positions. Commanders issued orders to evacuate, to reinforce, to prepare for a war they had no hope of winning. The humans were not only present, they were unstoppable, omnipresent, and precise. On Indomitable, Mara turned to her officers. "The Council was warned. The galaxy has been warned. Now, we continue. Every strike, every maneuver, every system taken, remind them that humanity's rise is inevitable. Let this be the moment they realize what they ignored for centuries. We do not beg. We do not pause. We endure." As the first superweapon quietly deployed its energy shields over nearby colonies, a ripple of awe and fear passed through the human fleet. Humanity had finally revealed a fraction of its true capability. The Council had thought humans were primitive, dismissible, and controllable. Now, the first shockwave of understanding spread. Humanity was a force that could not be contained. And this was only the beginning. The silence of space shattered as human and Council fleets collided near the Kaldar system. Stars shimmered coldly around the battlefield, reflecting off the sleek surfaces of human ships and the angular, imposing vessels of the Council. What had been a distant warning was now a brutal reality. Humanity had arrived, and they were not asking for permission. Captain Mara Vane watched the battlefield from the bridge of Indomitable, her eyes scanning dozens of displays. The Council's forces were powerful, but disorganized, scrambling to respond to attacks they could not anticipate. The human fleet moved like a single organism, each ship perfectly synchronized, each maneuver precise. Lieutenant Corrin spoke quietly, almost in awe. "They're trying to surround us, but we're 2 steps ahead. Every move we predicted, every trap they set, they've fallen into it without knowing." Mara's expression remained calm, almost cold. "Good. Let them think they have control. We'll show them how little that matters." Suddenly, alarms blared across the bridge. A Council dreadnought had opened fire on one of the human scout ships. The laser beams cut across space, bright and deadly. The scouts dodged with impossible speed, the attacks narrowly missing. Then, as if choreographed, the human response struck. Coordinated energy pulses disabled the dreadnought's engines, leaving it drifting, powerless. The Council's commanders roared in frustration. "Focus fire. Don't let them escape." But it was too late. The human ships had already vanished into hyperspace, only to reappear in a new formation, attacking the Council's flanks. Each strike was surgical, targeting power cores and weapon systems, leaving civilian transports untouched. Humanity's code was clear: precision, not destruction for its own sake. Mara's calm voice echoed across the fleet. "We do not annihilate what can be preserved. We dismantle what threatens us. Let this be a lesson: the galaxy underestimates humanity at its peril." A sudden alert appeared on Mara's console. Sensors had detected a Council battleship, massive and heavily armed, moving toward the planet below. If it reached orbit, it could unleash destruction on colonies the humans had recently established. Mara's fingers danced over the controls. "Prepare the intercept squadron. I want that ship stopped before it touches the surface." The squadron launched with precision, streaking toward the battleship. Energy beams met shields, explosions lit the void, and yet the human squadron remained unharmed. Every move, every counter, was anticipated. Slowly, inch by inch, the Council ship was overwhelmed. Its engines failed, its weapons went dark, and finally, it drifted, a hulking monument to a mistake the Council had made centuries ago, underestimating humanity. On the Council flagship, the Elder shouted, rage and fear mingling in his voice. "Impossible! Their speed! Their tactics! How?" Another counselor tried to answer, but his voice faltered. For the first time, doubt crept into the chamber. They had spent generations believing they controlled the galaxy. Now, they realized that a single species, once dismissed as insignificant, had shattered that illusion. Back on Indomitable, Mara allowed herself a faint smile. "They are learning. They will adapt eventually, but by the time they do, we will already be beyond their reach." Lieutenant Corrin glanced at the main display. "Captain, there's more." Sensors indicate unusual activity in the outer rim. Another fleet, moving fast, but not human. Mara's eyes narrowed. "Show me." The display shifted, revealing a fleet of mysterious ships. Sleek, dark, and silent, they moved with speed that rivaled humanity's. Yet there was something different, a cold precision, almost alien. Mara studied them closely. "They've been waiting," she murmured. "Something in the shadows. Perhaps they underestimated us, like the Council. Or perhaps they've been watching humanity grow, waiting for the right moment." Corrin's voice was tense. "Do we engage?" Mara shook her head. "Not yet. Let's see what they do. Patience is a weapon humans wield better than any cannon." Meanwhile, across the battlefield, the Council fleets struggled to regroup. Their communications were clogged with conflicting reports. Their commanders argued and blamed one another. Every move they made was anticipated by humanity. Every strategy they devised was countered before it could be executed. For the humans, it was almost too easy. But for Mara, the satisfaction was not in victory, it was in sending a message. A message that the galaxy could not ignore: humanity would rise, whether the Council accepted it or not. And the first confrontation was only the beginning. Above the Kaldar system, stars shone as witnesses to the battle. Energy streaked across the void, hulls burned, and fleets retreated. Humanity's presence was now undeniable. The Council had learned one thing: underestimating humans came at a price. And in the quiet corners of the galaxy, eyes watched, fleets shifted, and the real war had just begun. The galaxy was no longer silent. Word of humanity's fleet had spread like wildfire, sparking panic, awe, and disbelief in equal measure. For centuries, civilizations had believed humans were weak, primitive, and controllable. Now, that illusion had shattered, leaving fear in its place. Captain Mara Vane stood on the bridge of Indomitable, eyes scanning the vast star map displayed before her. The first battle had been a warning. The Council had been humbled. But Mara knew this was only the beginning. The outer rim showed unusual energy readings, signals that didn't match any council or known species technology. They were fast, precise, and deliberately hidden. "Captain," Lieutenant Corrin said, pointing at the display. "Sensors show an unidentified fleet moving through the Marnoth expanse. They've evaded detection until now. Could be scouts. Or something worse." Mara's eyes narrowed. "Prepare a reconnaissance squadron. Cloak and move silently. I want to know what we are dealing with before they even notice us." The stealth vessels slipped into the darkness of space, undetectable even to the most advanced sensors. Hours passed as they approached the mysterious fleet. Then, a shocking discovery flashed on the monitors: ships unlike anything humanity had encountered. Sleek, dark, and jagged, their hulls absorbed light, their weapons pulsed with energy that distorted sensors. It was clear they were not council ships, not human, not even from any species recorded in the oldest archives. "They're ancient," whispered one officer. "Their technology, it doesn't match anything we've seen. They could have been hiding for thousands of years." Mara studied the fleet, her calm exterior masking her thoughts. Hidden, yes. But not invincible. Humanity has faced impossible odds before. We adapt. We endure. And we strike when the moment is ours. Back in the council chambers, chaos erupted. The first reports of the mysterious fleet had reached them, and fear replaced arrogance. "We thought humans were the threat," one counselor yelled. "Now there is something else. Something we cannot understand." The elder, golden-eyed and trembling with rage, slammed his hand on the table. "Contain them. Destroy them. Do not allow humanity to ally or awaken anything unknown." But containment was impossible. The mysterious fleet moved unpredictably, avoiding detection, striking systems in silence, and leaving devastation in its wake. Mara's reconnaissance team returned with detailed scans. Every ship in the fleet was armed with weapons capable of annihilating entire colonies, yet they had not attacked humans directly. It was a test, a warning, or a challenge. Mara turned to her officers. "They are observing us, waiting for something. But patience is on our side. Humanity thrives in the unexpected. We will not strike first, but we will prepare. Every system we control, every fleet we deploy, every weapon we hide, it will be ready if they dare to engage." Meanwhile, reports from human colonies came in. Remote outposts had detected strange energy fluctuations, gravity distortions, and sudden disappearances of unknown ships. Panic began to spread across council-controlled territories. Humans remained calm, having anticipated such confusion. Humanity's plan was not just to fight, it was to prove that control of the galaxy could no longer belong to the Council alone. Suddenly, an encrypted message arrived on Mara's console. It was old, ancient, encrypted with a protocol from centuries past, almost forgotten. Her eyes widened. This is not just a fleet. It is a warning from a civilization older than the Council itself. They have been sleeping in the shadows, observing humanity's rise. Corrin leaned closer, voice trembling. "And now they are awake." Mara shook her head slowly. "Not yet. But they are watching. We must prepare for more than just the Council. The galaxy holds forces older and deadlier than anyone remembers. Humanity's rise has awoken them, and we cannot retreat. We will face them when the time comes. And we will prevail, as we always have." Outside, the stars seemed to pulse with tension. The human fleet spread across the Kaldar system, ready, silent, precise. Reconnaissance reports continued to flood in: strange fleets, mysterious signals, ancient technology coming alive after millennia. Humanity was now a beacon, drawing attention from every corner of the galaxy, from friends, foes, and beings long forgotten. Mara's voice carried calm authority across the bridge. "The Council dismissed us. Others hid. And yet, we endure. We will not beg, we will not pause, and we will not retreat. Humanity's rise is inevitable. And whatever waits in the shadows, we will face it head-on. For the first time, even the crew felt a shiver. Humanity's next moves would decide not only the fate of the Council but the response of an ancient, sleeping power. The galaxy was changing, and nothing would ever be the same. The void of space was tense. Stars gleamed coldly as two fleets approached each other across the Kaldar expanse. On one side, humanity's ships moved with precision, engines glowing faintly, weapons ready but restrained. On the other, the mysterious fleet loomed like a shadow, ships that absorbed light, glimmering with strange energy, and pulsing with deadly intent. Captain Mara Vane stood on the bridge of Indomitable, calm yet alert. Her eyes scanned the sensors, tracking every movement, every energy fluctuation. This was the moment humanity had prepared for, though they did not know exactly what they faced. Every calculation, every drill, every plan would be tested. Lieutenant Corrin's voice broke the silence. "Captain, they're faster than anything we've seen. Their formation, completely unpredictable. Weapons charging at levels beyond our sensors' normal range." Mara nodded, fingers resting lightly on the console. "Good. Let them think we are uncertain. Confusion is a weapon humans wield better than any cannon. Prepare the first maneuver, divide and flank. Target their sensors first. Disable their eyes before they can strike." The human fleet moved like a single organism, splitting into smaller squadrons, weaving through the shadows of asteroids and debris. The mysterious ships reacted instantly, firing energy pulses that warped space around them. Human shields held firm, adapting to every strike, every wave of interference. Then came the first shock. One of the human scout vessels was hit, ripped apart by an unseen energy field. The crew held their breath, but Mara's calm voice cut through the tension. "Focus. One loss does not end us. Every ship must act as one mind. Prepare countermeasures and engage silently." Human engineers activated a hidden system, ancient, experimental technology kept secret for decades. The energy fields of the mysterious fleet began to destabilize. Pulses reversed, shields overloaded, and for the first time, cracks appeared in the enemy's formation. The Council, monitoring from their distant stations, watched in horror. Impossible! How can humans counter them so efficiently? Their ships, so small, yet so deadly. Mara's voice rang across her fleet. "We do not beg. We do not wait. We endure. We strike where they are weakest. This is humanity's way." The human squadrons moved like shadows, striking at engines, weapon systems, and energy cores. The mysterious fleet fired back, devastating some ships, but humans adapted instantly, learning and evolving mid-battle. Each loss was accounted for, each movement calculated. Humanity's efficiency was more than technology, it was instinct, strategy, and courage combined. Then the Indomitable activated its hidden weapon, a concentrated energy pulse designed to disable entire fleets without destroying planets. Mara held her hand over the control console, knowing the risk. "Now," she whispered. The pulse surged through the void, striking the enemy fleet. Energy arcs rippled across their hulls, shields flickering, systems failing. The mysterious ships faltered, retreating slightly, but they were far from defeated. Mara knew they had underestimated their opponent's adaptability. "Maintain pressure," she ordered. "Do not let them recover. Every system we control, every strike we make, it will remind them humanity cannot be ignored." In the council chambers, golden eyes glared at the reports. They are not just a threat, they are a force beyond calculation. Every strike they make is precise, deliberate, unstoppable. Outside, the stars around the battlefield glimmered with destruction and fire. Human ships danced through laser fire, dodged gravity distortions, and adapted to strange energy waves with skill that seemed almost supernatural. The mysterious fleet fought back fiercely, but humanity's coordination, courage, and cunning kept them ahead. Mara looked out of the viewport, watching her fleet move as one. "This is only the beginning," she said softly. "They thought humans were weak, chaotic, unpredictable, but chaos has a pattern. Weakness has strength, and ignorance has consequences. As the battle continued, the first direct proof of humanity's superiority became clear. Not in numbers, not in sheer firepower, but in adaptability, intelligence, and willpower. The mysterious fleet had been formidable, perhaps ancient, but humanity was not a species to be contained or dismissed. The first confrontation had ended. For now. Both fleets retreated, damaged but alive, each calculating, preparing, learning. But one truth was undeniable. The galaxy had witnessed the rise of a force it could no longer ignore. Humanity had shown it could not only survive the unknown, it could conquer it. And as Mara watched the stars, a faint smile crossed her face. The Council dismissed us. Others hid. But humanity does not wait. Humanity rises. And when the next battle comes, the galaxy will see what it truly faces. The galaxy held its breath. Systems burned with the remnants of conflict, fleets scattered, and the Council's authority trembled like never before. Humanity's rise had begun, and now the final confrontation loomed. Captain Mara Vane stood on the bridge of Indomitable, the galaxy stretched out before her like a chessboard. Every move, every fleet, every weapon had been calculated. The mysterious fleet, ancient and powerful, hovered at the edge of known space, observing humanity with silent menace. The Council, shaken and desperate, had rallied its forces, preparing to strike at what they still believed was a single, isolated threat. Lieutenant Corrin's fingers danced over the controls. Captain, they've consolidated. The Council fleets, combined with the mysterious force. If they strike simultaneously, it could overwhelm us. Mara's gaze remained steady. Then we do what we always do. We outthink them. Humanity does not rely on numbers. We rely on precision, adaptability, and resolve. Prepare the fleet for the final maneuver. The human fleet moved silently, cloaked, weaving through asteroid fields and hidden gravity wells. Each squadron had a specific target: communication hubs, energy nodes, and key command vessels. Mara knew the Council would panic if their chains of command were severed, and the mysterious fleet would not intervene until forced. Suddenly, alarms blared. The Council flagship had detected the human approach and opened fire, targeting the leading squadrons. Explosions tore through the void, but humanity's shields held. Mara's voice rang calm, authoritative. Engage evasive patterns. Draw them in. Let them believe they control the fight. The Council commanders, arrogant until this moment, realized their miscalculation. Humanity had not only survived the previous battles, they had learned from every encounter. Adjust fire. Target their engines, one shouted. But human vessels slipped past attacks with fluid precision, striking Council and mysterious ships simultaneously, dismantling systems without unnecessary destruction. A new wave of dread spread across the galaxy when the human superweapon, long hidden and perfected over centuries, powered up. Mara watched as energy flowed, concentrated, and then projected silently across the battlefield. Ships and stations alike were disabled almost instantly. The Council fleets faltered, even the mysterious ships were forced into defensive positions. Humanity had not destroyed them, only demonstrated the cost of underestimating the species they had mocked for centuries. Mara's calm voice echoed across comms channels, reaching friend and foe alike. The galaxy has ignored us for too long. This is not destruction for its own sake. This is proof. Humanity will rise, and all who resist will face consequences. Respect is not earned by fear, it is earned by action. The mysterious fleet, sensing the humans' power, attempted to retreat. But Mara anticipated this. Squadrons flanked them, cutting off escape routes. Humanity did not seek unnecessary bloodshed, they sought order, control, and the assertion that the Council could no longer dictate the galaxy. Finally, with a coordinated strike, the Council flagship and the lead ships of the mysterious fleet were neutralized. Systems once under strict Council control were now under human influence, stabilized and protected. Humanity had proven that raw power alone was not the key, it was intelligence, strategy, and the will to act. In the aftermath, Mara stood on the bridge, looking out at the stars. The council had survived, but its authority had been shattered. The mysterious fleet had retreated to the uncharted edges, wary of humanity's reach. For the first time in millennia, the galaxy recognized that humans were not a species to be dismissed. Lieutenant Corrin exhaled, breaking the tense silence. "Captain, we did it. The galaxy knows. They cannot ignore us now." Mara's eyes glimmered with calm resolve. "We did not fight for recognition. We fought because it was necessary. Humanity's rise is inevitable, and those who accept it will thrive. Those who resist will face consequences." Far above, in orbit of the newly stabilized systems, human ships gleamed under distant stars. Their engines glowed softly, their weapons rested but ready. The galaxy had witnessed the beginning of something extraordinary, a species that would no longer be ignored, a civilization that had endured and adapted beyond any expectation. The council would rebuild, perhaps, but its arrogance had been broken. The mysterious fleet had been tested and forced to retreat. And humanity had risen, unstoppable, unyielding, and undeniable. Mara turned to her officers, her calm authority filling the room. "This is only the beginning. The galaxy will continue to test us, but we have shown what humanity is capable of. We endure. We adapt. We rise. And we will continue to rise, until the truth is clear to all: humanity's place in the stars is not negotiable. It is inevitable." Outside, the stars shimmered like witnesses to a new era. For the first time in history, humanity's power was recognized. Not through diplomacy, not through negotiation, but through action, precision, and the unyielding will to survive and dominate. The galaxy had been warned. The rise of humanity was complete.